Education, Laurie Kilmartin.
Okay, so we're recording this, and just like an hour ago, Nicole Byer, so it's Sunday afternoon, Nicole Byer is live tweeting a disaster of an Uber ride. Allow me to read this from 12:14 on May 15th. My Uber driver just asked me, "Are you ovulating? Are you craving a baby?" Then he asked, "Are you an erotic person?" Then he said, "We can go to a strip club and take a girl home and take advantage of her. You like women or do you like pounding? How do I tuck and roll out of this car?" And then he said, "I was in Papa John's with a girl, performed fellatio within 30 seconds." And then she goes, "He said he liked glory holes, and I told public glory holes are pretty gay centric, and he got mad and turned the music up so loud, so I think I won." And so this was all an hour ago, and then so the hour goes by. He just asked me, "Are you going to order a masseuse when you to your residence?" with the creepiest smile. Now he's trying to guess what I do and is mad I won't tell him.
Wait, she's in an hour-long Uber?
Yeah, well, I guess so. Or this was an hour ago, and I was like, "Hey, could you feel free to bookend this so you don't end up in a lime pit and we all have to go search for you." So I have not yet heard, but everybody check in with Nicole Byer, previous comic of the week.
Yes.
And good morning or afternoon or whatever day it is. I came from Seattle. Where did you come from?
New York.
New York City.
My last set last night started like at midnight, and I had an 8 a.m. flight. Oh God, I feel awful. I bet. For the exit row. That's an extra $80.
Ooh,
yeah.
On JetBlue or?
JetBlue, but I had some nice leg room, so that helped me a little bit. But yeah, I was bad.
Yeah, my show, I did the Upper Left Fest, Seattle, which they're very interested in having you next year. And this was their first year, and they did 3 days, and they had like 3 different venues, and maybe two big venues, and then but they did that thing that Bridgetown did where they planned daytime things if you wanted to hang out.
Oh, cool.
So the first day,
all the comics staying like in one hotel and stuff.
Well, it was yes, and they paid all the comics, including the comics who came from out of town who weren't headlining.
Cool.
They paid everybody, and Ron Lynch and I were the big headliners.
Oh, nice!
So we got to hang out a little bit, and that was super fun because I love Ron Lynch. And then Sklar Brothers were over at the Crocodile, so I ended up having.
Oh, that's cool.
I had lunch yesterday actually with Jay Sklar and Jeffrey Baldinger, who was featuring for them.
Oh, right on.
Randy was hanging out with his own wife. And then I guess Erica Rhodes was over at the Chili Dog, David Angela.
Oh, okay.
Seattle.
Yeah.
So Erica Rhodes was over there, but I didn't get to talk to her. But I got to hang out with like Andy Main was there. Andy.
Right? Oh, nice. Yes, Andy Lemaine. And what about was Kermit or any of the Seattle?
I didn't see Kermit, and I had just done Crocodile a couple of months ago and hung out with Kermit. So I felt bad that I didn't call him this time, but I did talk to a friend of mine from college who lives there, and there was a big pro-choice rally.
A busy weekend.
Yeah, you had a busy week. Getting brought up by the bad guy, the good guys, the bad guys, and then the good guys thought that Dean Obadiah dude or whatever the fuck his name is.
Obadiah. Obadiah. Obidala.
Dean. Anyway, stop. Oh my God.
I've known Dean for a long time, so it's okay. But,
and he's a good guy, but he shouldn't have. He just.
Well,
I wasn't the fire.
Well, let's just he did write so I did MSNBC. When did I tell you I was doing MSNBC last podcast?
No, I don't think so, but I knew that you had done it before.
Yeah. So, it was just kind of a casual, here's the topics. So I wrote some jokes on the topics.
Which is what you do.
It's what anyone does when they're a comic you're the comedy relief. They had 2 serious people. They had Joan Walsh and they had Maria Therese Kumar, who's an activist.
Right.
talking about abortion rights and SCOTUS and all that stuff. And then they throw to the comic, who was me.
Right.
So I made an abortion joke. And
everyone thinks you're 34 years old, and it's very beautiful.
There was no commentary on Sunday night. Like maybe one person was like, "Hey, I saw you on MSNBC." That was it. I didn't hear a word. And then the clip of the abortion joke got posted onto Mediaite, which is this. Basically, they just post clips with kind of clickable headlines. So I think their headline was something like, "Guest says she'll joyfully abort a." Like, no, not guest says. It's comedian jokes, motherfucker. Everyone needs to just calm down. But of course, that got everyone riled up, and a lot of really shitty right-wing content started posting it.
Yeah.
And on Facebook and Gateway Pundit and Daily Caller, Daily Wire, And then, so Monday, during the day was bad. I got a ton of emails. People threatening my life, people trying to dox me. Someone was posting my address on Facebook, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. Just freaking.
So I'm like, this sucks, right? And
then
I wake up Tuesday morning and I have a DM from Troy Bond, who's a comic in New York. He goes, "Oh my God, you're my hero. You were on Hannety last night." I'm like, "Oh no." So Hannety brought in a whole nother level of hate and shitbags and threats and scary shit, Yeah. And he showed the clip of the joke, and then the two people weighing in on it. He also had a panel convened. You know what? News comprised of panels of people that are unqualified to talk about what you're talking about is really, really the death of America. Okay.
Right.
So his unqualified panel is Pam Bondi, the former Attorney General of Florida.
Oh.
Who honestly did not investigate Trump's university for fraud because he gave her a $25,000 campaign contribution.
That's right.
So she, as I was saying on my act, and known comedy critic. So she's like, this woman is a zero. She's a nobody. She's not a comedian. And she's joked about God in her routine. It's all like someone who's whispering in her ear. Like, I think I had God jokes 2 albums ago. And
right.
What? You haven't listened. You don't know. And the other one was Lara Trump, who's Eric Trump's wife. And
wow.
She's like, that woman. And I'm like, bitch, you can't at least say my name if you're going to slam me, But she's too dumb to remember my name.
I thought Eric Trump got divorced or something, or is this his new wife?
Don Jr. got divorced.
Don
and then
Jr.
going out with Gavin Newsom's ex, and they're engaged now. But Eric Trump has been married to this idiot who used to be a producer, maybe on Extra or one of those shows.
Oh my God. That actually might cause me to kill myself if I were a producer on Extra.
Something like that. Yeah. Very vile woman. And who knows better? I'm sure she knows better, than whatever she's doing. And she doesn't give a fuck. So that's even worse than just being plain stupid. Mm-hmm. So that was just the first 2 or 3 days were really kind of like, I could not believe the level of hate and the amount of people who actually thought that I was going to carry out this plan of
right
with
a Republican. Yeah.
With a leaker. And if the leaker was a male and a Republican, that I at age 56 would get pregnant at one night stand and then have a joyful abortion.
You are so picky about men anyway that you wouldn't even the leaker. He's in his 70s.
I'm going to drive to DC and fuck the guy. Are you serious?
Does he swim? He doesn't. So, but yeah, there was. I spent a couple hours reporting different responses to you.
Thank
just
you.
because I was like, ugh, you're so gross. Some
Yeah.
of these people were just gross. So.
Yeah, and it's just a little ecosystem that starts to feed off of itself. Like some guy, I got called a slut so many times. It was like hilarious by Christians and incels. They're like two different types of people hate anyone that's pro-choice. And I will say, using the word joyfully was really the thing that set people off. Which
and it doesn't even have a hard K.
You know what? None of the rules apply.
Comedy rules out the window.
Yeah. So a couple of them, I started responding to a lot of them, except one person was completely on all caps unhinged, but a lot of people were like, how could you joke about murdering babies? And it makes you think, well, if they actually believe that abortion is tearing limbs and from a torso and beheading something, I understand why they're so angry. Mm-hmm. Like if that's the visualization in your head when you think abortion, that makes sense. But they're just wrong. So
yeah, that's not how it goes. Yeah.
I'm not the health teacher, so. So I would argue with like, well, I'm sorry. I think you can joke about anything, and I think it's funny. And then a few people came around. Some people apologized for being assholes. One guy, I posted this on Twitter, but some people aren't on Twitter. One guy, a 61-year-old, self-identified 61-year-old guy from Florida, married, no kids. He said, my wife and I always wanted kids, and the fact that you would joke about, killing a baby, and when I think a great, awesome grandfather, I can't believe it, right? And so I said, you know what? I don't know what to say, but I think you'd probably be a great grandpa, and I hope you have a good day, right?
Well, there you go.
So then he emails me back. I'm not kidding. The next email, he goes, you seem pretty tech savvy. Whenever I go online, I get all these ads for gay porn, and I don't know how to stop it.
Oh my God.
Yes! And so I said, well, usually like Google will give you ads on things you're already searching. But
you didn't, did you?
I did, but I gave him an out. I said, is there someone in your house, maybe a handyman or something that has access to your computer and is searching for gay porn? And he's like, oh, it wasn't me. I have no interest in it, but thank you. And then he never emailed me back.
Oh, that's really for the best.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then I had a very in-depth discussion with this lady on Instagram who, again, murdering babies, and then she's like, I almost had an abortion. And it's like, I don't care about your story. I don't care about your almost had and you love your kid. Okay, good for you. This isn't about you then. You got to choose not to. That was your choice. I think you tweeted something like that, right? So everyone who's a parent, you chose not to abort. So you did make a choice. Anyway, we sort of agreed to disagree. We agreed that rapists should be murdered.
and they're out of the womb.
What?
They're not even in the womb anymore. They're actually people. They're
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, but capital punishment. That's something that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And all right.
Yeah. So it was, and then I was like, how the fuck are these people getting my email address? And then Julie Bush, who's a screenwriter I follow on Twitter, she's like, I think you have a contact page on your website. And I did. I forgot. So I took it off. I stopped instantly.
Yeah.
And I just locked my Facebook and my Twitter and Instagram. And then obviously in Twitter, it's just a little, I'm just in a little under an umbrella and with people that follow me that like me, and it's fine.
Yeah.
And, people can still message me on Instagram, I guess, but it's calmed down quite a bit. And then I haven't been on Facebook for a while, but I might just stay undercover for a little while longer until people move on. But you posted my Venmo and people started Venmoing me $1. A couple people Venmoed me quite a bit of money. And I'm like, okay, well, guess what? I will spend it on, I spend it on a service that does some kind of like getting your name out of things and your contact info and any info on you. And then I bought a home security system. So I did use people's money. And then whatever's left over, I'll donate to Planned Parenthood. So
there you go. Yeah. It's yeah. So did you get that delete me
yeah.
app? And that kind of scrubs the internet of your address, right?
Yeah, I recommend women do it. It's weird because every single person that contacted me about that app or a different one that's like it was a woman.
Oh yeah.
Female comic or female writer going, hey, I had to do this.
Okay. And
yeah. I'll like
yeah, I should do it just because.
You should actually. You really should.
Yeah, can't hurt.
Yeah, and it's a monthly fee, you know.
Okay.
You know.
But you can write it off. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really glad I have been pretty vigilant about not saying my son's name and all that kind of stuff, you know.
Right, because he doesn't need it.
Yeah, I even went and made my ancestry private, you know. Just
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want you knowing who my fucking great grandma was, you piece of shit, you know?
Yeah, I have to go to graveyards across the nation, but other people don't just randomly dash off to Albany or wherever.
So. Don't say it anymore. They'll find out.
Too funny. Yeah, so, and then you went to New York.
Yeah, and then it's weird. I had a couple sets in LA where I talked about it, and people seem to be aware. But LA, like some alt rooms, like everyone's sort of in comedy or they're interested in it, so they're like they know. And so like I would start talking about it, and people would sort of acknowledge that they heard about it, right?
Yeah.
And so I had a couple jokes, and then. I went to New York, and aside from one where I was walking into the stand and I heard someone go, "Is that her?" And I was like, "Oh shit! Please don't shoot me." But they didn't, obviously, and
right.
But at the stand, no one, like maybe 4 people had heard about it, so it had already blown over by, at least in the zeitgeist, by Saturday.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, there's always some new thing to have rage or just for those people to focus on. So
yeah. I mean, it's definitely a temporary thing. I got contacted by very different sets of comedians who had been targeted for various things, who just said, you know, it'll give it a couple days and they will forget. But when it feels like everyone's, you know,
Bill Cosby didn't talk to you, did he? No, I was just curious.
Like
very different comedians. So he didn't.
No, just different spectrums, right? Or who had been targeted for different things, you know. But yeah. So, but it is very intense the first couple days when you can't even open your email without just seeing like cascading messages, you know, saying you're horrible, sick, disgusting.
Right.
You're so many anti-abortion people told me my mother should have aborted me.
Right, that's so
like,
weird.
You're on my side. Like, that's my choice. I mean, she didn't have the option. I was born in 65, so she actually didn't have the option. But
right. She had to have you. It was forced birth back then.
Sure.
So ridiculous. Yep. Well, yeah, I worked out a bunch of new stuff because I went over. There's a new club. It's been a 4-wall for a couple of years, but now it's an actual
4-wall.
So that's when you remember the one. It's what they call those things like in a Best Western where an outside person puts up a show.
Oh, I see. Okay.
In their crazy bar.
Yeah.
And
like triple gigs, pretty much all triple gigs and stuff.
Yeah. Well, Linda Stogner in Dallas, right? So she runs a 4-wall, and so it was called Club Comedy, and now they have their own space, and it only seats 90, less than 100, right? But it's all a bunch of 2-tops, and it's super cute, and it has. I like what they're doing. First of all, on the walls are essentially old comedy albums.
Yeah.
But so far I've only seen 3, and one was Lily Tomlin.
Okay.
One was Richard Pryor, and one was Steve Martin. And it was just sort of the stats of the album, what year it came out, how it did the Grammys, you know, I mean, sort of like a little IMDb kind of thing. And then, but it's really well put together, and the sound is really good. And supposedly I'm going to get the video of that, which is good because I did a little bit of crowd work.
That's cool.
Yeah, not you know, my version of crowd work is me talking. It's not crowd work. It's me talking about the local town. And so you guys know you're in Seattle? Anyway, so
you know, like the new thing is to hate on comics that put up crowd work on Instagram. Because I think some people are putting up, I mean, I've put up crowd work, but they're putting up maybe not the most clever crowd work.
Right,
but you gotta put up something because you don't want to put your act up. I mean, what the fuck? We're all just trying to fill a room, motherfuckers, okay?
Yeah. I mean, I was just telling Kyle that because of there's a couple of lawsuits going on, right? Because of Spotify being nuts about comics wanting to be paid more.
Yeah.
They pulled all of my albums off of Spotify. They're all gone.
Right.
And then I don't even think Staycation is on Spotify.
I don't,
but
see, but that doesn't affect me financially whatsoever, as far as I can tell, in terms of getting money from Spotify.
I thought that was one of the things that Sound Exchange paid, but
it's not a lot. It's nothing like serious XM money. I mean,
no, it's not. But thousands of spins at 4 cents a spin, it's
4
still
cents, like 0.0004 cents.
0.04 of a cent. All I know is that my Sound Exchange money has gone down super a lot. And it's because my albums are off of Pandora and Spotify.
Wow.
And so they took Horcrux off of Pandora, and they don't want to, and now they're not accepting new comedy albums. This is horrible for comics who have new albums coming out. Yeah, they're not, and Sirius isn't accepting any new stuff either.
Why?
Because of these lawsuits for spoken word money. And
Sirius is worried that they're gonna have to pay out more money too?
I believe so. But here's the weird thing.
Oh my God.
I'm going to finish the story, which is that Horcrux is considered now a new album because they took it off. So anything that they took off before, now it would have to be resubmitted, and it would be considered a new release to them. And so they will not accept, they won't look at it, even though it came out 8 years ago or 6 years ago or whatever.
So Sirius, if they're playing comedy, they're playing only albums they've already accepted.
Yep.
Shit. I mean, we got in under the wire then, I guess, right?
Right. But all this stuff, I mean, eventually will get resolved, but so will, injustice. So it may take a second is what I'm saying.
Oh my God. Oh, that really sucks.
Yeah, it's really bad for the people who put off their new albums at all,
Right.
But Kyle did just check, and Apple Music has everything.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Apple Music has
Apple, Tidal, everywhere else that isn't those couple is still doing stuff.
If you subscribe to Apple Music.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So you could still pay a fee someplace. It just wouldn't be Spotify or.
Yeah.
So why is Apple? Is Apple not being sued, or they just are like, hey, we got the money, come get it, or something?
Don't know.
Not sure.
And I don't know if I believe all of my stuff is still on Amazon because it's available streaming, because you can buy the tracks. I think that's why it's still on.
Well,
maybe that's why Apple still has it, because you can buy tracks.
Oh, because for sale too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Makes sense now.
Yeah, it makes more sense. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, what if Spotify started selling albums? Would they?
They might come back, but that's not their model, right?
Right.
So.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but it's a bummer because my Horcrux album is kind of my most popular album. People love Bread, which is sort of the most family friendly one. though some of the stuff on the back end of that. Anyway, all the closing, the last 10 minutes of every album of mine is always vaguely dirty because I always end on a dick joke.
You gotta end on a dick joke.
I end on a
show. You're closing a fucking show.
Right. Go home. Go get some. Go get some. Go get some from your fella or your lady or your person. And yeah, so but it is too bad because I like that album. I like all of my albums. Allow me to state the obvious. I enjoy my own comedy.
How you like your albums? Because I walk off this podcast. I don't need to.
Please storm out into the woods because you're clearly in a cabin.
I have the Crystalia backdrop. I need to kick my career up a little bit.
What is with that backdrop?
I don't know. I just liked it. I think I was making fun of his apology video because it was like some wood backdrop like this, but it is pretty nice. I mean,
yeah,
it's better than the fake brick. I'm trying to hide my location now.
Right.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
You have a sea monster of some kind.
It's a Miyazaki, I believe. Wow. All right.
So last night comedy was exhausting. I had 5 sets.
Oh my gosh.
2 at the Stand and then 3 at the Broadway. And the Broadway is just, the Broadway can be great or it can just be like total. First of all, it's back. Comedy is back in New York. Shows are packed. The Broadway had on their the top room, they have a room upstairs and a room downstairs. And downstairs is the cafeteria. They had hundreds of people in it. They were turning people away.
Wow.
And the top room was seating audience members on the stage. So they had had behind you, to the right, and on the sides of you. It was just like, God damn. But these aren't comedy fans. These are like
tourists.
Were headed east, and they got by a barker to the left, and then they accidentally walked into the comedy room. So it just felt exhausting, level 1. Just very helpfully serving every single joke into their mouth, like I'm feeding a baby, pretending, and then, shoving it down their throats. I didn't feel like I came up with tags or anything. I was just survival mode.
I worked on so much new stuff last night I had a 7:00 show, and both shows had a lot of comics before me.
Mm-hmm.
The one on Friday night had 5 comics, everyone doing 10s and one person doing 15.
Okay.
And the one last night,
that's the most you can handle.
And last night it was 3 comics doing 10s and 2 comics doing 15s.
Oh, and then you're doing a full hour.
45. Yeah, it was, which I ended up doing 55 because I missed the light in both cases, and I got kind of because I had just been to Seattle. And so I wanted to make sure I worked on whatever new stuff I could come up with. Yeah. And so I never saw the light. And I was like, well, here's this premise. I wonder if I'm going to be a genius in the moment. Turns out, no. Disappointed. Too funny. But I did work. I have another new premise. It's always nice when I have a premise about something that feels kind of covered. I'm like, oh, this will play in Peoria. This will play everywhere. And it's about driving, but it's, and so a driving bit. Look, I'm back. I can do one-nighters again.
Yeah. I mean, you need bits, you need jokes that offset other jokes that are,
You really do. I swear to God, that's exactly what I was like. I have so many jokes that are slightly intense, and then
the audience starts going, "Is she a Democrat?" Like you say you are, or you don't say you're a liberal or progressive, but they start suspecting you, and then you talk about driving, and they're like, "She's like us." Okay.
Oh my God. My dad once said to me, "Do people know that you're you ever get in any trouble for any of that political stuff?" And I said, Dad, my stuff is socio-political more than anything. And have you looked at me? I mean, people look at me and they're like, what's she going to do? Vote? I'm terrified. And so they mostly leave me alone. So this week I have it's not a private, but it's down in Dana Point. It's at the Waldorf Astoria. Just sort of it's a local gig.
Oh, okay.
That a comic books. And I'm opening for a guy named Kayvon. Do you know Kayvon?
I know the name. I don't know.
He looks John Mulaney-ish. He's got kind of a skinny, shiny.
Is he coming over from TikTok?
I think he's stand up.
Okay.
Yeah. Julie Arendale, I think, is the host and the booker. And I accidentally hit reply all. And so I got the hotel, which is the venue, in with me asking about, too much logistics. And so she emailed me back. She said, hey, just me. Just don't. And I was like, I am so sorry. I did not realize.
A lot of troublesome reply alls in comedy recently.
Everyone, oh my God,
who they're replying to before they hit send. That's all.
Yeah, the fact that improv reply all thing came back,
it still keeps going.
I was like, please, I want to go up, but I don't know how to stop.
I think we might be out of clever answers, but people keep reviving it. Some comic will come back and kick it off again. So,
what's her face was giving guff. Did you see that guff?
Oh yeah,
right. She was just like, thanks for, don't shit on other people's careers, and she's kind of famous, right? That comic I just typed.
Sure.
And she was like, don't shit on other people's careers. You're like, I don't think I'm shitting on someone's career by saying that Bill Cosby's a monster, and I'm using Bill Cosby as an example for a lesser monster.
Yeah, but it's almost an all lives matter type of thing. Like
very much an all lives matter. And you're like, what are you doing?
I don't know. It's just you got to go. How many fucking piles of shit do I want to step in this week? I don't want to step in any for a while. I just want to do stand up and work on jokes. That's,
Yep.
For me right now. You're typing feverishly.
I am. So I had a conversation about comics and other comics and opinions. Right. And then the Will Smith, Chris Rock thing came up with this guy. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I just was hoping to fill my August. Can someone just book me with some road work?
Were you supposed to, are you supposed to talk to female comedians that are causing trouble, Jackie? Is that
well, I guess I'm not supposed to work places because bad guys work places, but I don't know who everyone else, nobody, as I've said it 1,000 times, I don't know who you work for. Do you work for Gandhi? You don't work for Gandhi. I don't work for Gandhi either. And if I don't take the work, they will book a straight white guy. They will.
Or just another female comic, I mean,
well, they might book another female comic, but the odds are they're going to book the squeaky white boy wheel.
Yeah. Although I think that whole situation you're talking about isn't demanding that female comics stop working certain places at all. But I've always believed that we should never be taking ourselves out of any sort of stand-up arena because the industry will take us out on their own. We don't have to help them.
Right. Exactly. It was, but being in Seattle, talking to all those young comics that are up there, because there's so many rooms up there now. They said that they have at least 2 open mics a night.
That's awesome. That would be a great city to move to if you're a young comic.
Yeah.
It's unaffordable. Shit, Seattle. Fuck. I wonder.
Right. It's not super cheap, but a lot of them live in Tacoma, which is about 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
And but there's a new comedy club in Tacoma too.
Is it? There's the one that's like the next door to the Tacoma Comedy Club.
Right.
On Saturdays. Is it a different room from that one? There's a different.
I can't remember. I remember.
They have a bunch of alt shows in Tacoma now. There's some really killer booker comics working out there who are really going to blow the city up.
Okay. Cool. Well, I should definitely, because I like
they don't, you know,
Seattle.
yeah, but it's like if you live it there, it's great. But for you to come up as a headliner, it's
Right. Like I would love to do, like I have a really good friend who lives in Spokane, and I'd like to do Spokane, but I also need to make I have to make a certain amount of money. So, yep. So that it doesn't cost me money to do stand-up comedy, which is always a disappointment.
Understood, Jackie. I do believe after 3 decades, you're allowed to make money at what you're doing.
Let's take a quick break. Maybe there'll be some money at this break.
Okay.
And then let's do Comic of the Week, which I just watched. One of her jokes was so freaking funny, the clip that I ended up seeing. But it is our Comic of the Week. Where is she? How did I lose her?
Rena Hundert.
Yeah, that's it. Rena Hundert. And it's RenaHundert. And the bit I was just essentially about saying I love you to somebody and sort of the bad way to respond. It was such a great bit. It was just a that was my favorite one. That's the favorite nugget I've seen. So find Rena Hundert and book her.
Does she live in LA?
Kyle, did you figure that out?
Yes, in Los Angeles.
Yeah, she's LA comic, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
super funny.
Yes. Find her, work her, you got it, and give her lots of work.
Do it.
Yeah, for sure. Rena Hundert. And Robin Tran had a funny joke. I'm like, oh, that was right there, and she found it. And many of us have let this one just fly around our heads and not. She just grabbed it, where something about like the thing I like about when men are having sex with each other. It's like at least they're not bothering any women.
Right. Oh God, it's like the crimes that aren't being committed. It's such a relief. That's funny. The hotel that we stayed at, Ron and I, and any number of other people. I don't know who else was there actually, but it was kind of the perfect hotel situation because first of all, the room had a pool, had a bathtub. We gotta love that. It was right across the street from a Whole Foods.
Oh my God, that's perfect.
So Ron and I walked over around the corner from an IHOP that Ron wanted to go to yesterday morning, but a Saturday morning, that's not happening.
Oh,
so
sure, right.
we walk in, the wait is 40 minutes. We walk out, we walk across the street to Whole Foods and we go get, essentially, I think I got a cranberry muffin and a cup of coffee at a place where you can, because it's Whole Foods.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a perfect storm of
that's a gig you wish was like a Tuesday through Sunday.
Right? Because there were so many things. I've been to so many towns recently where I'm only there for like 2 nights, 1 day.
You can't even get to know it. You can't even find a favorite coffee shop to have.
Right. And I really want to. Because one of the cool things about stand-up is getting to go to towns.
Yeah.
And
we used to go to a town and just have days and days with nothing to do and no internet or nothing to distract us, basically. So you just kind of fucked around and went to the mall and saw movies and, you went out. You didn't stay in your room all day.
Do you remember that joke from the 90s where I forget who the feature was. I forget who did this joke. Auggie Smith would remember, but it was this guy who said, people say, what'd you do today? Did you have a good day? And I said, well, I went to the mall and I watched the headliners spend money. And very funny. I thought that was a great.
Auggie Smith was really up in people's asses about me. He apparently was really, going in, like finding shit on Facebook and arguing with people and stuff. He said that a bunch of people there was a post about me and my mom, and people had found that and were coming in on that and calling me a baby killer or whatever, or a horrible person. And he was defending me. So thank you, Auggie.
Thank you, Auggie Smith.
Yeah. It's fun to defend people that you like. It's hard to get in yourself because that just, I did kind of go in on a few Facebook threads. Oh, some guy, I forgot to say, he has like an internet show, like a YouTube channel show, right? And so I was a segment on his show and he sent me the link to it and I'm like, you piece of shit. I'm not even
He sent you the link.
I know. Yeah. I mean, but here's the thing. Oh, I did click on it and an ad started and I'm like, I'm not helping you make money. Fuck. No. Goodbye.
He turned the ads on.
Yeah.
And it's, and whenever there's ads, you have to answer all these questions. Is there anything hateful? Is this made for children? Has it got anything?
Oh yeah. No, you have to take time out of your day to add an ad to.
Right. Answer your, oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have this to say. Are you on the road much this month? For May?
I'm in
We're halfway
Los
through.
Angeles for about 2 weeks. So, yeah, because I've been gone for quite a bit and I've missed a bunch of my son's life, which I don't love. And so I'm home for about 2 weeks. And then
Me too.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm actually home for a month. Though I did ask my manager or agent if he could check with the big chains, see if there was anybody at a fallout, because that's what I would enjoy.
Yeah.
I would enjoy subbing for anyone. Does Ian Bagg have to take a break? Because I would love to go do an improv.
Working every gig.
Yeah, exactly. And then, because my next out of town is the run with Brian Regan at the end of June.
Oh, cool. Well, you have some time at home. How's everything coming along with the new bathroom, prepping for your mom-in-law, etc.?
Right. There's I'm going to start. We're going to have to consolidate a bunch of dishes, obviously.
Oh boy.
But I don't like some of our dishes, and I like her dishes. So that's a win. Who doesn't like Fiesta ware? I like Fiesta ware. So she's been collecting it for 60 years.
I know the name, but I can't visualize it right now.
It's a chunky, brightly colored.
Oh, okay.
It's a party. It's a festival.
You'll have a party at your house, a Rummy Cub party, and Fiesta ware, and we'll play.
All the things will happen. Andy bought a couple of these we got to get more counter space because she has a lot of machinery.
Mm-hmm.
She has a microwave. I don't know. She uses it all the time. We don't have a microwave.
You don't have counter space for a microwave though, right?
Right. So Andy bought these things that should expand our counter space in the kitchen, but they have to be put together. I just asked Kyle if he has any interest in putting together
what about keeping it in her bedroom? Is it stuff that she has like before she goes to bed, like hot tea or something like that, or is she cooking meals in the microwave?
Well, she's got a lot of what we're going to do is we're going to move her in with too much of her stuff.
Okay.
And then we're going to cull it down just because I have my stepmother threw away all of my grandmother's stuff when she moved in with her. And we're all still furious about it. Nancy's been dead for 10 years. My grandmother's been dead for 20. Oh. So, but we're still mad. Yeah. And so I don't want to throw away a bunch of stuff that she might want, or that someone might want, right?
Or Andy might want later.
Yeah. Well, his nephew Thomas and his girlfriend. I was just talking to his girlfriend, and I said, "Do you guys?" Because Fran and Chris, Andy's moms, bought one of those close and play record player, CD player. They look like an old timey record player, but they're also a CD player.
Okay.
And they bought it back in the 90s to burn all their albums to CDs.
Oh yeah.
And it was actually Thomas's job to burn all their albums to CDs when he was a kid. And he did a bunch of them. He did like 50 of them. But I was like, do you guys want a record player? And they're hipster. So they do want that record player.
What about sticking the microwave under a counter? Yeah, I mean under a cup, like a cabinet, like the bottom of a cabinet, so it's like just hanging over.
Oh, suspended. Yeah. There might be a way. Yeah, there's a bunch of different. There's lots of plans, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's all I know is that we have a lot of stuff, and it's not a big space.
Yeah.
But I want to share that space.
Yeah.
And we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I did say to her though, I stayed a couple of nights with her, and I was like, the three of us were in her house, and I was like, you're gonna get to see grumpy Jackie. It's gonna happen. And you will hear these words come from me. I love you, but I have to fuck off. And
At least you're telling her to fuck off. That's
right. I'll be taking a lap.
Yeah.
Just because I'll need a little solo time. And it doesn't mean I don't love her. It just means I need to take a lap.
What about getting a storage unit? No?
Yes. Something I always swore we'd never do. But this actually makes sense to some extent, because it will be a lot of her stuff and a lot of stuff that will reincorporate into our lives 10 years from now when she dies. Wow, too much info, but whatever.
No, it's
but
true. I mean, I had a lot of my mom's stuff in storage for about 2 years, and then we finally just went through, and I put some stuff in the attic, I guess.
Yep.
Whatever the little crawl spaces, and and then I had to get rid of my dad's computers, and I have like 50 backups of each computer, and it's all engineering stuff, so I don't even know what, but I was like, I don't want to miss anything, and so I just backing things up over and over again onto portable hard drives. I have so many of them that probably have duplicate information that's not of interest to me because it's about
right.
Tehran, right? So, but yeah, I mean,
the CIA might care. So
yeah, I mean, I've let them know what I have. I do have old 8mm of Tehran of my parents hanging out in Tehran. It's kind of cool.
Man, you got to get that digitized.
I did.
You did. Oh, good, good.
Sent it all off to Costco. It's all digitized.
Oh, I think she's a member of Costco. We might have Costco. There might be some Costco. I was just
in Burbank.
Yeah. Well, there's Costco. There's one down the block from us, but we had a Costco account when we got married, and we bought silverware. We bought like plasticware for like some picnic, and it lasted for like 10 years. There's everything's so big at Costco, and
Jackie. Yeah, welcome to
their
Costco.
hook. That's their hook.
I am so tired.
I know. Where are we at, Kyle? Are we at second break?
We got about. Oh yeah, let's do that. Perfect. Second
break. And now where are we?
We got about 10 minutes left.
Oh, we're doing it.
I got 2 days of just very minimal sleep, and I just feel like shit.
Well, Ron Lynch wanted me to do one of his shows last night, and it was just called Crapshoot, and it wasn't really stand up. It was supposed to be like you could do anything weird because it's Ron Lynch, and Ron Lynch loves to do awesome weird stuff, right?
Not stand up. It's very funny, crazy, weird shit.
I had a really good time with him, and
even though he's from Boston, he to me is a quintessential San Francisco comic.
I agree, hard agree, and but my show was at 7, so it was done by 9. I was done by 9. My flight was at 5:30 this morning because I'm not smart, and so I had to get a lift at 3:30.
Oh my god!
Wait, and no, at 4 o'clock. So I had to get up at 3:30. So my lift at 4 o'clock, and so he wanted me to do a show that was at 10:30, and I was like, "Well, how much time?" And he goes, "Less than 5 minutes." And
Less than 5? What?
Yeah. I said, "Oh, I'm not coming. I'm canceling. I'm not doing it.
I'm going to destroy myself for a 3 minutes."
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. If it would have been 10, I probably would have stayed up.
Ron Lynch is so fun. All of his shows start at the very earliest 10:30 at night, but often they start at 1 a.m. or something.
Right, and he is as old as we are, if not older, and just like, you're like, what are you doing?
He's a night owl. He knows himself.
He is a night owl. Whoo!
I'm watching this series called Tehran on Apple TV.
Oh, you looking for engineering feats of your father's?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, they must shoot it in California because from what I understand, like California and Iran have similar landscapes, parts of it. But they do have these incredible drone shots that I think are Tehran because they're presented as Tehran. I'm like, why wouldn't they be? They probably just have some. I don't know how you get footage from that country. It's
what
good.
kind of show is it? Yeah, what kind of show?
It's a Israeli spy for the Mossad. She works for Mossad. She is dropped into Tehran to stop some sort of nuclear thing. And then, it's a lot of madcap capers. She and the Iranian guy, they hook up and, now sometimes they're running from her handlers and sometimes they're running from the Iranian police and everyone is humanized.
That's neat.
It's funny because the Iranian head of intelligence, who in real life just kills people on a daily basis. This guy
casually
like him, even though you see him be incredibly violent to people, he also has a wife that is that he's always trying to take care of, who's sickly and stuff like that. You're like, all right, this guy's job is to be a sociopath, and he somehow turns it off at night.
I saw the ad for it and I was like, is this like Burn Notice but set in Tehran? That's what I wanted it to be.
I don't know what Burn Notice is, but I would love to go to Iran, but I think I can't imagine a world where an American tourist would be welcome to just tootle around Tehran. But so I feel like this is as close as I'll get to visiting it.
Right. I definitely want to travel again. Nobody's wearing masks anymore.
Oh my God. No, on the flight this morning, there's a fucking infant in the front row in bulkhead. So everyone had to walk by the infant.
And breathe on it.
People still want to wear a mask. This baby can't wear a mask. Oh, so infuriating.
And can't be inoculated. And
this baby is completely vulnerable to your aerosols, and you still won't wear a mask. That really
we're in the middle of this petri dish. Yeah, I wore a mask all the trip.
Yeah.
But only in the plane for some reason. Only in the airport and the plane. In restaurants and stores and cities and stuff. It's off and on with me. I've kind of gotten over it, but I do like the idea. I may wear a mask forever on planes, just because I don't want your cold either.
Oh yeah,
I don't want.
I felt like I was the only one at the stand that had a mask on last night. And comic wise, and I don't remember seeing any audience members with them, which is weird because New York's having an upswing, but people, I don't know, they just don't care. We just don't know. I've said this before, but if you get COVID, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mild cases, what do you think your old age is going to be like? I don't know.
Well, I've taken to asking people how many people in the audience have never gotten it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And different, it's weird. Last night at the forum they were actually checking people vaccination cards, and you had to wear masks.
Oh, okay.
At the forum. They were enforcing that but the night before at Club Comedy, they were not doing any of that.
Yeah.
And so it was very few people in that crowd had not gotten it. But almost the entire crowd at the forum had not gotten it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so the people who were willing to go to the Vax Masks show, they didn't get it.
Yeah. I wear it up until my name is announced, and then I take it off, and then I get off stage and I put it back on.
Yeah, well, and the Club Comedy one, there was a woman in the front row, I think it was, who said, "I've had it twice," and I was like, "Well, then you get it for me. Good for you."
Yeah, somebody on Twitter was debating the existence of long COVID, and they were like, I think I might have my 4th case, but I'm fine. It's like, oh, okay. Well, I know friends. I have friends that smoke, and they're not dying of lung cancer right now. So I guess they won't ever. I mean, what do you?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Mm-hmm. So you're in town. Are you doing sets this week?
Yeah, in fact, tonight, Monday, I'm at the Dynasty. I'm doing Randy Feltface. He's the puppet that I worked with.
Yeah.
he in Canada, he's doing like a talk show. So it's me, Atsuko, somebody else too. And we're all guests on like a late night show.
Fun.
The Puppet's hosting. The Puppet's really funny, very sarcastic, but yeah, nice, good. And then spotlets here and there. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but I'm gonna do Comedy and Magic is back open.
What?
It's open. It's open on Friday. I'm gonna do the 8 p.m. show.
Who's booking it? It's not Richard again, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's good news. Yeah.
Wow.
Set there, and then I'm gonna run up and do Pasadena Comedy Club, which I've never worked at before.
It's not the Ice House, is it?
No. It's just called Pasadena Comedy Club. It might be
New?
a 4-wall, as Jackie Cation likes to say. I haven't been there yet.
Okay. All right. Well, report next week.
Yeah.
I feel like we're at an hour.
We definitely are.